My name is Olivia, and I'm 28 years old. I've been married to David for 5 years. He's 30 now. And though our journey together hasn't been filled with riches or luxury, it has been filled with something far deeper: love, sacrifice, and the quiet strength that holds a home together. Let me take you back to the beginning. I met David when I was just 22, a fresh graduate full of dreams and plans. He was already working, strong and determined, even if he didn't earn much. He had this calm smile, this gentle voice that made me feel safe. He wasn't flashy. He didn't wear expensive clothes or talk big, but there was honesty in his eyes. And somehow, I knew I could build a life with this man. We got married a year later. It was a small wedding, nothing fancy, just family and close friends. We couldn't afford a big celebration, but standing there, holding his hands, I didn't care. We didn't have money, but we had hope and love. We moved into a small apartment with one bedroom, a tiny kitchen, and an old couch that David got from his cousin. But I was happy, truly happy. David worked in construction. Every morning, he would leave before sunrise, wearing his worn-out boots and carrying a lunchbox I packed for him. He'd kiss my forehead and whisper, "Take care. Love." And every evening, he'd return covered in dust, shoulders tired, but with a soft smile for me. He earned $2,500 a month. It wasn't much, especially in the city. And from that, he sent $1,200 to his parents. They were old and had no income of their own. David had always been the responsible son. That left us with $1,300 for rent, groceries, utilities, everything. We learned to stretch every dollar. I was lucky to find a good job in marketing. It paid $5,000 a month, more than David made. And while I was proud of my work, a part of me felt uneasy. I could see it in David's eyes. He admired me, but he also felt small next to me. He never said it, but I knew. His silence told the truth. At first, I tried to ignore it. We were a team, I thought. It didn't matter who earned more. But slowly, frustration grew in me. I wanted more. A better house. A car that didn't break down every month. Weekend trips. New clothes. I began comparing. Not out loud at first, but in my mind. Then one day, I blurted it out. "David," I said, "why don't you try something else? Start a business." He looked at me, confused. A business? I don't even know where to start. I frowned. Other men are doing it. Other husbands are building things. I want more, David. This can't be our life forever. He didn't argue. He just nodded slowly. I understand. But I kept pushing. Every day, I would bring up what others had. Look at Sarah's husband, he bought her a car. Linda's house has a backyard. Why can't you be more ambitious? David never shouted, never raised his voice. But I could see each word I said was a wound. I saw the light dimming in his eyes. I saw how he sat in silence longer, how he smiled less. One evening, he came home late. I was waiting by the door, annoyed. "Where were you?" I asked. He took a deep breath. "I was looking for a second job." My anger melted into surprise. Really? He nodded. I'll keep trying. And he did. The next morning, he was up before dawn. And by the time he came home, it was already dark. Then, one day, he walked in with a tired but proud smile. I got a second job, he said, at a restaurant. I'll work nights. My heart jumped. That's amazing. He kissed my hand. I just want to give you the life you deserve. Now, David worked from morning to night. Construction by day, restaurant by night. He barely slept. He stopped watching TV. We stopped talking. Even our dinners were quiet. He was too tired to speak. I started feeling lonely, but more than that, I started feeling guilty. I watched the man I loved working himself to the bone. And for what? For me. For the life I kept saying wasn't enough. Then one night, everything changed. David walked in slowly. His hands were trembling. His face was pale. I ran to him, and before I could say a word, he collapsed. David, I screamed. He whispered, I'm just tired. We rushed to the hospital. The doctor looked at me with concern. He's exhausted, severely. His body can't take this pace. He needs rest or it'll get worse. I sat beside him, holding his hand, feeling like the worst person alive. I'm sorry, I whispered through tears. I did this. David opened his eyes and smiled faintly. Don't cry, love. We'll be okay. But I wasn't okay. Not inside. That night, I stayed awake by his side. I remembered everything, how he always listened, how he cooked when I was sick, how he never shouted, how he worked 2 jobs just to make me smile. And I realized something. David didn't need to be rich. He didn't need to buy gold or build an empire. He was already giving me something far more precious, his love, his time, his loyalty. When he came home from the hospital, I changed. I stopped comparing him. I stopped wishing he was someone else. I started noticing the little things. The way he warmed my hands when they were cold. The way he said my name like it meant the world. The way he quietly fixed things around the house without telling me. I cooked for him. I rubbed his tired shoulders. We talked more, laughed more. We found joy in small things again, watching the rain, dancing in the kitchen, eating instant noodles on the balcony. One night, we sat on our old couch. I leaned into him. David, I whispered, I don't need a bigger house. I just need you. He smiled and pulled me close. That's all I ever wanted to hear. And in that moment, our little apartment felt like a palace. We had no gold, but our hearts were rich. We had no car, but we had a journey. We had no business, but we had built a love that could never be bought. If you're watching this and you've ever felt like your partner isn't doing enough, pause. Look again. Maybe, just maybe, they're giving you the very best part of themselves. Love isn't measured in money. It's measured in effort, in time, in kindness. David taught me that, and I'll never forget it. Thank you for listening to our story. If it touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's remind the world love is still the most powerful thing we can give.